It's Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, and yes, it is early in the morning. I know I normally do these chats in the evening, but I was just too wore out emotionally yesterday to post. Don't know if Callie's going to join me. I don't know where she is. And we actually got some snow yesterday, and got some, looks like mixed precipitation coming down now. I won't be going out to the farm until this afternoon, let everything stop. So, first update I'm going to give is why I was too emotionally wore out to post last night. I got a call. Oh, here it comes. She stole the stuffy somebody gave me for Christmas. Hello, baby. Yeah, she was supposed to get groomed today, and they canceled that on me. They're not grooming dogs today. But anyway, I got a call last week. I was supposed to be having, I thought it was an ultrasound, but no, it was a CT scan of the heart to give them a better idea of this hole, to see whether or not it could be repaired non-surgically. I had called them because I wasn't hearing anything and wanted to make sure that I hadn't fallen through the cracks, and they said that they were waiting for approval from the insurance company, and they didn't even have any appointments available until February. So I'm thinking, oh, great. Well, then I get a call from them to schedule it. So, of course, I assumed everything was a go. They get it all scheduled. And then they called me up Friday, I guess, to give me instructions on what I needed to do, which was no caffeine after noon on Sunday, no food after 8 a.m. on Monday morning. The test was supposed to be done at 12. I needed to be there at 11 o'clock, and while I could drive myself, just the way they said it, I figured they probably want somebody to drive me, and it's like they're talking about an IV hookup and everything. It's like I've had CT scans before. They've never hooked up an IV. So I did the smart thing, and I contacted a friend of mine to see if she was available to go up to the hospital with me. Well, she picked me up at the farm yesterday, and we were able to find where we were going, and we get in, they get all checked in and registered, and she had to have a visitor's pass and everything. And then they come out and say, your insurance company is denying this. We can't do the test unless you want to pay for it. I said to him, it's like, why did they even schedule this if the insurance company is going to deny it? They said, well, the doctor's going to try to get it approved. And it's like, I called up the doctor's office to find out, do they want me to just sit there and see if they can get something straightened out? Or should I just go home? And they said, go home. So, of course, I paid for her parking, and I also took her out to lunch as a thank you. I was going to give her money for gas, but she didn't want that. So, just went back to the farm. She dropped me off. I got hay out for the animals. It was starting to lightly snow. It wasn't bad out. Checked, made sure all the chickens had water, collected eggs, and came home. And it's like I got home and I just didn't feel like doing anything. I haven't even told the majority of people. I've just told a few people that have, of course, my kids, and a few people that reached out and asked how the test went. And, of course, Mom H, because, I text her a lot. So I don't know what's happening with this test, whether or not I'm going to be able to have it. And now I'm asking myself, if they're not wanting to pay for this test, are they going to want to pay for the surgery, or are they going to say, oh, it's not needed? So I'm hoping that the doctor's office calls me back today and it gives me some answers. Like I said, puppy was supposed to go to get groomed today. She's really needing a good grooming. But because of the weather, they preemptively, or whatever the correct word is, I can't think anymore, went ahead and closed the grooming salon. So she's got to wait a week. Since she's not going to get groomed, it's normally when I would go to my crochet group. I'm not going. I've got some projects I'm almost done. I may share them to you when I'm done them. They're baby blankets that I'm making for a local group that works with especially single mothers that don't have much support system. And I donate these baby blankets that I make to them. I don't claim to be a great crocheter, but I really like these ones that I've made. The one I really almost don't want to get rid of because I like the colors. I have more of the yarn of that color. I need to figure out something I can make for myself with that. House, I did not get much done in the house this week. I started to, but because of the cold weather they were calling for moving in, it's not supposed to get above freezing tomorrow. I opted instead to work on things that needed to be done outside. I had the chicken pen at the house was post relining. The soil here is very light and sandy, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that some of the posts started to lean. And I managed to get them almost completely straightened up. I'm going to get some 2x4s to run along the top to keep them better in place. Didn't get it as well as it would have needed to be done because I would have basically had to take the chicken pen apart, and I just didn't have the time to be doing all that. That will be happening once the weather warms up and I can do it properly. Another thing I did, I had one fence post that had gotten broke when I had tried to take out a tree and didn't quite cut it right. And the post is in, but the fence isn't attached to it. I need to take the fence off on the rest of the garden to get it around that post. And I just didn't have time. I just wanted to get that post in. I figure I can do the rest later. The cedar posts that I use for holding up the cattle panels so I can grow stuff vertically were all taken out. Of course, the cattle panels were taken down. And something that I had done earlier in last year, I'm not even sure when I did it, I had started asparagus for myself to take to Kentucky, and then I had a bunch of little ones coming up in the front where I have some asparagus that never really did anything, and I planted them in the garden, but thought to myself, there's not really enough here or if somebody wants to grow asparagus. When I saw the house, and its seed packs were only 50 cents a pack, so I bought a couple packs and started the asparagus and never got it into the garden. So I figured I need to get that in if it's still any good before the ground freezes solid. And there was nice roots on these little things, so they're all in the ground. See what happens with them when it gets warm out and I'm able to work again. Yeah, I might go ahead and move them. Did have a lesson on Misty. She didn't really want to listen. I'd hoped to ride her some more, but I had so much other stuff to do outside that I didn't have time. And I found one thing that I really need to work on, and I've been trying to work on that without being on her, just sitting down, and that's trying to lower the leg from the hip instead of the knee. I finally kind of associated it with karate, and it's more like a back kick. So, been working on that some. Once I get back on her, hopefully that will help improve my seat. And the big thing that I did, I had started redoing my round pen because the horses had really been rubbing up against some of the posts, and they were just so crooked that I completely redid the round pen, moved over where the entrance was to it, get it all done, and realized that I didn't quite measure quite right, and the opening was now smaller than it had been before. So I just pulled out one post and moved that over to where it's about the same size as it was before, and checked my measurements so that I know when I eventually move and make a round pen, I know exactly how big I need to have it done. Oh, I also did a lot on firewood. I had been bringing in some of the oak and the sassafras, but because of all the rain that we got over 3 inches of rain last week. It was so wet, it's like I didn't even bother. I do have it all up by the woodshed, and I think I have 3-4 pieces that still need to be cut, and the rest just has to be split. I'd hoped to finish that before this weather moved in, but since I didn't, I just have it all covered. I'm bringing in all the oak. and whatnot that I had. The problem being, of course, is some of the pieces are just so small. It's so hard to stack it in the stove. It's like I don't have any choice now. I've got to keep this fire going. I'm still waiting to hear back from the electrician. I may give them a call today. If they can't come out and look at it, I'm just going to have to find somebody else. As I said, it's going to be cold this week, and I only have the space heaters. Now, admittedly, I have been doing okay with keeping the house pretty much warm with just the stove going. I turned the heat down to like 65 overnight, and lots of times I get up in the morning, it's not running. I don't even have heat on in the bedroom, and it's about 65 when I get up in there. So I have been surviving, but if I do have this operation, it's like I don't want to leave space heaters running while I'm in the hospital. But that's about it for me for this week. I do need to cut up. I got some of them cut. Some more of these little pieces of pine and sassafras that I use for starting the fire. And you can see I've got wood in. I've got some really big pieces that I can only be burning when I'm in the when I'm home. So I'm going to go eat breakfast, and I'm going to get started on doing some work today. I need to do dishes and change the sheets on my bed. And once that's all done, I'm hoping that I can get cracking in the living room. I'm hoping that I can have a lot sorted out so that I can take a ride over to the storage unit and start getting rid of stuff. So I hope it's nice weather where you are, and I'll talk at you later.